Welcome to Walking with Chris and Vanessa.
Today, topic, what is work?
That's an interesting question for us because work can look differently. For me, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And a lot of the things that I do and the things that I find myself engaged in can be not looked at as work. And, from a traditional sense. And that's, I think, where we differed and where we, just butt heads for a long time, had that really, really rough season because we weren't on the same page of what work was. And I think you're looking at that scripture. I said, man, I agree. A man that doesn't work doesn't eat. So no, I was like, man, I'm gonna be starving up in here if my definition of work is just what your definition of work is. But for me, I'm working harder now than ever as an entrepreneur. 18, 17-hour days, building courses and doing coaching calls and doing challenges and promo cycles and all these other things. And I'm just like, that's work. But for you, work had a different definition. And that's kind of where we are today on our walk. Is like, what is work?
Yeah, work for me is about taking responsibility for yourself and being able to provide for yourself and understanding that an entrepreneur basically has no boundaries. Instead of working 8 hours a day, an entrepreneur could potentially work a full 24 hours a day. Now, is the entrepreneur working 24 hours a day on their work? Or because they still need to live, are they working 8 to 12 hours a day on their entrepreneur, and then they work the rest of the day working a job because you need money to make money. And if you don't take care of both sides of you, something's going to come to a crashing halt. And that was the advice that I was saying, that it's good to pursue your entrepreneur goals, but until the entrepreneur becomes entrepreneur, which then becomes a business, I always saw that you have to do this and that. And then your mindset is, I'm just going to do this. And to me, because you just did that and it didn't provide for your basic needs, I was like, that doesn't work. That's a hobby. So,
Yeah, I can see exactly where you're coming from with that. And I accept responsibility as a leader. I accept responsibility for not having a real sit down and when the season shifted of connecting with you and saying, hey, this is what I'm seeking for us to do in this season. Really building this up. And honestly, I really didn't have it all together, but it would have been better if we would have just sat down and, as Amos 3:3 talked about, agree on the direction. I don't think that it would have been as turbulent for us if I would have led in that situation and at least sought to gain the understanding of one another so we could understand this is how we're moving in this time. And I think I attempted to do it, but I didn't have all the details and it just didn't work out in terms of that sit down. But you're right. If we don't have proper expectations set up front, how could two walk together unless they have first agreed on the direction? And for a couple years, that was our biggest battle. It's like, we weren't sitting down. We didn't go on a vision retreat, and we hadn't really laid it out. A lot was going on, just got laid off, was finding a new path, was defining a new season, and launching a new brand within the Stay Married movement. It was so many things. The Platinum Standard Husbands was transformed into Platinum Standard Kings. It was just so many things going on. And that's what I thought work was for me. But if work ain't putting food on the table, you were like, that ain't work. So I'm like, man, I'm working harder than ever. But you kind of got a point.
and going back to what is work, my expectation of work is actually, and my expectation in life is, it should be easy.
Yeah.
Every job I worked, it's been easy. And what you do is you work hard on yourself, not work hard on the job. An entrepreneur works hard. They work long. And I'm like, what you working for? Is this the ladder you wanted? You putting all this time and energy to something that you don't want? But I always want everything to be easy because I'm peace country.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know that, that's a flag page. We might dive into that a little later on what those look like. But I'm peace country and you're control country, and fun country first, control country second. I'm peace country and I visit fun country. That's our
Yeah.
connection.
Yeah.
I'm looking for work to be easy. I'm looking for marriage to be easy. And my expectations and reality are not lining up. So now I'm like, hey, maybe these things ain't gonna be easy. I've got some evidence that you can work and have an easy job. My 2 jobs as a kid, I worked at the Cleveland Playhouse as data entry. It was hard work, but because I knew how to do it, it was easy.
Yeah.
It was hard for people who don't know how to do it. But for me, I was like churning through that stuff. And then in college, my easy work was sitting at the front desk checking IDs. That's the most boring thing there.
So yeah, just hearing your definition of what work is and how it should be easy, and I'm like, I've never been about that life. I feel like I can understand the frustration, and that's another reason why, like, level set, that sitting down and understanding, here's the direction that we're going, here's what I see this season, as far as I can see at least. And I don't think I really teed you up with the right setup going into, and we didn't really sit down, we didn't have a vision retreat and look at, here's just what this vision looks like in this new season now. And I just went after it. I just went after the grind. I just went after getting coaches and doing different things and just really just digging in, applying all this stuff and running after some things. I've seen some minor successes, right? Coaching client here, thousands of dollars. Coaching client here, another thousands of dollars. But then it's like dry spells. So it's like the life of an entrepreneur. And I even started getting discouraged because I'm like, yo, this should be working faster. But I'm glad that we were able to truly have these types of conversations now on the other side, because there are a few steps that if I had to go back and, like, in terms of the red flags that I saw, and I'm glad that we had the red flag journal and I was able to journal through a lot of those tougher conversations, those tougher moments that we were facing. But I do believe there are a few steps that we definitely have gleaned that we can share with couples today that they can apply in regards to going into new seasons and having an understanding. So step one is understanding the season you're in. And I believe the red flag journal helps to get clarity on the season you're in, because it starts off with what happened and it ends up with how are you going to move forward to forgive and walk in the spirit. And I don't believe that I utilize the tools as well. And even if I did do that red flag journal entry, I didn't communicate to you after I got that information. Step two would be to truly sit down and get agreement on this is what this season is. And even if you don't really know everything, bruh, or even if it's a tough conversation, I understand there might be some triggers there, because it was for me. And that's probably why I didn't have the conversation, because of the different triggers, and I didn't deal with them with wisdom. But I'm just telling you, bro, it's better to sit down, as Amos 3:3 talks about, and agree on that direction so you guys can get from A to B, from B to C, from C to D, and have checkpoints in there as well. So sit down, agree on the direction, and have checkpoints, because things change as you get more information. And then step three, make the proper adjustments for the new season. Because now there may be, I didn't have to rock out and have all hard work. I probably should have took on some easy work. As a matter of fact, God did send some opportunities that I didn't take advantage of because I would just focus on the hard work. And I think that hindsight is 2020, I could have looked back and it could have gave some income while I was on the up and coming, right? As an entrepreneur. So it would have gave us a much easier road to travel. And I do thank God for his provision, but I'm just looking back And those are 3 steps that I'm gleaning from today, 2025, looking back in the world we were. All right, y'all, that's Walking with Chris Vanessa. God bless you all. Always remember. What? Go ahead. Go ahead.
See, it was about to close.
So what?
And then I had to put my finger up. But all of those steps was just a testament from kid moves to king moves. So you made those kid moves, but now the wisdom and the reflection is now you see what a king is supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so that's why you helping other husbands stop making them kid moves and start making them clean moves. They ain't living that platinum life, and they probably got an angry wife. So go ahead and sign up. Platinum Standard Kings, Doc. I'm gonna sign up and get some of this king wisdom, mentorship. Okay, that's what I got to say.
Hey, that's real. All right, you close. That's closed out right there.
All right.